That's not to say I don't actually create more tasks, but I now have my ClickUp Link app, which plugs it into my code base, and I can create tasks, edit their status, add them to my code base, all without actually going into Click. If I want to actually do sprints, which I'm going to show you what my current status of sprint, kind of sad at the moment. All right, so you see I have 6 sprints here. Last one was in, was that April? I got to get back on it because it helps me to focus and say, okay, this is what I want to get done. So we're going to go ahead and create a sprint. And this one's going to be, well, obviously it's not going to be 4/4 to 4/17. Start date's going to have to be tomorrow because I've been doing them Friday to Thursday. So it's going to start tomorrow. So we're going to say Friday. Oh, it is 4/4. Okay. End date will be Thursday, 2 weeks. There you go. We'll say Friday. Perfect. Okay. Sprint goal. What is the sprint goal? I don't always do sprint goals, but I'm going to put one in there. The goal for this sprint is to finish space skills, import player data with those skills, player pool. What else do I want this sprint? I would like to get all of my stat ratings completed as well. Ratings are the numbers that are basically 1 to 99. The same thing everybody else uses, right? Some might use a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 20, but I want something significant, right? So it can be a nice big gap between the worst and the best. But the nice big gap is not going to be 1 and 99. It's more going to be like 30 or 40 something to 99. Into the player pool and apply base ratings. Complete. I think base ratings should be easy. Overall, those should be easy because I'm just going to add scaling to them. In fact, I think I already kind of have that function. And apply base ratings. Begin definition of game implementation values for skills. Now I'm going to have to create probably tasks for all of those skills. Again, it's just like I did, except it should be a lot simpler because all it is a scaling. Scaling just means taking the full range of values, min to max, and turning them into a number range that fits for the purposes of game function. So every skill, no matter what the rating is on a 1 to 99, is going to be squished or extended into a base skill value that's going to be used in the application of it in the game. Now, in the game, those values will be compared, and they'll either deduct or add or be the goal value of success rates of any particular action in the game. So every time a play runs, there'll be a number of actions that every player takes on the field, and it's going to be their skills that determine their success or failure. A lot of that isn't going to be visually animated, because I don't know to what extent I'm going to be able to get animations for everything. Like, say, a juke. A juke would be a guy who would step one way and then run the other, right? Basically, it'd be a like a left-right step or a right-left step, and it'd be easy. I mean, it's a simple animation, but your guy's got to look like he's kind of doing it, or at least sort of, step right, step left, step left, step right, and it's cool. But I don't know how much I'm going to get those animations done. There's a lot of animations, and I am not, like I said, I'm not a graphics guy. So that's going to be that's where things are going to get really bogged down at a point. I'm going to eventually get all this logic in, and things are going to be kind of set. And then I'm going to have to start taking all this logic, which is now built, creating the feed into my application. And then once everybody's actually going and doing all these actions, it's going to be, and the last step is going to be, all right, well, let's animate everything now. let's start giving these guys visual feedback as to this stuff is actually happening. Because like a tackle, well, right now it just means the play stops, right? There's going to be a guy standing in his spot. He's going to be stopped. Tackle. There won't be any animation where the guys fall to the ground or anything interesting like that. There are there are plenty of games where I see where the tackle is just he runs and there's like almost no animation. I think Super Tiny Football. I think Super Tiny Football, one that I've. Oops, did I not actually click this? I think Super Tiny Football, which is an Android game, is like that, where if there's a crowd of guys there, you can barely tell he got tackled. He just got stopped. It goes beep or whatever it does, to show that you got tackled. The animations in the game are pretty good, but at that tiny position, tiny form, you can barely tell. Now, in a game like Retro Bowl, which is 2D animation, there's really running and falling. And every animation is if you're tackled, you're down. If you're diving, you're down. It might have a move in such animations. And I don't know how many other little animations are there. There's obviously the quarterback kind of walk. There's the walk backwards animation, which has got to be one of the things you're doing, right? Because that's not quite the same as turning around and going backwards. And then there's the animations that would have your guys turn around. But I don't think the game, even when your guy, what I should probably do though is let's go ahead and do one more thing. I didn't do this before. Add backlog. We're gonna go back to player skills. I'm gonna go ahead and add offensive skills. I'm gonna try. These should all get finished right now. I mean, really, there's nothing here that shouldn't get done. So we're gonna go ahead and add this to. We're gonna add this to the sprint, and offensive skills to the sprint. And I already have special teams in the sprint and general skills in the sprint. So now that I know that they're linked and it's not going to show them, I'll have to just go to those items. But hopefully I can knock them all off fairly simply by just checking them. I will have to add more, I have a feeling, because I don't think I have all of my items accounted for. But at least now I know why. Well, okay, so I think the effort to clean that up is going to be a 1. Or a 3. We'll give them a 3. General skills. I'll just mark them all as 3. This one here, I'm in progress, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it as 3 also. And this thing just needs to be deleted because that doesn't actually exist. All right. 12 points of effort. Woohoo! That's it.